Hello and welcome to Barre. This is a mixture of ballet, Pilates and other fitness elements, and it's going to work best today if you are in socks or in bare feet. And today for an extra prop alongside whatever you are using for a bar, so back on the chair, edge of the table, the wall. Alongside that we are going to be using a stretchy band, preferably one of these ones that has no loop to it, just one long band. So if you don't have one of those, an old pair of leggings will work just as well. Something that's going to give you a little bit of resistance. We're going to be putting our foot into it and having a little pull with the band that way for some arm exercises. So something that you can fashion to give you a little bit of resistance. Otherwise, a small hand weight would work as well. But starting with that, just pop that to one side. We will come back to it, and we're going to start in a little bit of space. So just make sure you've got some room around you and you can follow along the warm-up with me. Here we go. So coming into a place where we place the feet underneath the sit bones, stacking tall through the spine, lifting up through the top of the head. We're going to take the arms up to the sky, reaching up and just reaching through the fingertips in line with the shoulder socket. And then we're going to reach away, think of growing even taller through the spine. Let's do that again, but we'll take a bend with the knees. Breathing in as we reach up. Exhaling away as we press down. One more time, breathe and reach. Long spine, long arms, long sides of the waist. Let's take it into a little pad through the feet. So nice and gentle, but just peeling that underside of the foot away from the floor. And at the same time, let's do a little bit of movement through the arms. Circling from the elbows. Just taking the forearms up and round. And then we're going to take them back the other way. So we're going to come in and round instead. At the same time, thinking about that TVA muscle wrapping around the waist, that corset of muscle wrapping in. Two more either way. Keeping the feet nice and sprightly. Back again with the arms. Let's see if we can take that into a little bit more springy action. So there's a little bit more glute engagement underneath, a little bit more springing through the feet. And we'll take it into the wrists. So we'll step the wrists outwards first. And then inwards as well. And then we're going to take a little change. We're going to be swinging side to side, and you've got this rush of the arm through the air. That can start to get higher. Feel that rotation through the spine. It's gentle, but it's energized. It can come all the way up and over into a bit of a side bend, stretching through the side of your body. And it can start to make its way back down again. Coming back into that swipe, that rotation, all the way back down, coming back in underneath you. Let's take it into a little look side to side through the head. Breathing deep into the backs of the lungs. Let's take that into a look up and down. It's going to start to curve us forward on the next one. So we're looking up, and then as we look down, we're going to drop the gaze. We're going to smoothly roll down through the spine. Soften the knees as you go. Have a little hang forwards. Maybe a little rock side to side, if it's comfy. If not, just hanging absolutely fine. See if you can place two hands to the floor, two knees bent. We're going to swim one arm up and back, almost rotating the chest to the sky, all the way up and round. Take the same with the other arm, rotating the chest up and round. And we're going to unroll again, pressing the feet down into the floor. Lifting through the top of the head as we come back up. We're going to move ourselves to our bar. We're going to start with some pliés today. So coming into a parallel position, feet just towards the outside of the hip, so a little wider than we sometimes start with our parallel. We're going to take it into some squats first of all. So it's a very simple pattern. We're going to do 2 in 2 counts. We're going to do 4 in 1 count. We're going to do 8 little pulses, and then we're going to hold it down there. And we're going to do that twice in a parallel position. We'll work into a first, we'll work into a second. So thinking about knees tracking over the centre of the foot, tall through the spine, but there will be that slight pitch as we squat. Here we go. On 7, 8, it's down for 2, and up for 2. It's down for 2. Here we go. We've got a down. We've got a down for 2 and up for 2. So It's nice and smooth and spongy in the beginning. Sit bones dropping and lifting. 4 in 1 count. Drop it down, press away. Think wide collarbones, long neutral spine. We're going to take 8 little pulses on the next one, so we're going to stay down there. And we're just easing into that place. A little softness through the knees, a little softness through the hip flexors. We're going to stay down. Let's take a little raise of an arm. Let's take a little raise of the other arm. Let's take it back down to the bar. Let's take it back to the bar and let's lengthen through the legs. We'll do that one more time in that position. Down for 2, nice and slow. Try and keep the heels pressing into the floor. Allow the gaze to drop and lift back up again. 4 in 1 count. Think about the glutes wrapping around underneath as you bend and as you lengthen. 8 little pulses down, smooth as you go. Make sure the chest isn't pitching forwards. Think of that long diagonal shooting up to the wall where the wall meets the ceiling. We'll stay down. We'll take one arm up. We'll stay down. Think about TBA wrapping. Replace the hand, lengthen the legs. Shift to first position. We're down for 2. So we're easing into the calves, easing into the ankles. Pressure down through the foot. We've got 4 in 1 count. And as we're drawing up, we're thinking inside thighs drawing together. Spongy between the legs. 8 little pulses down. So only going as far as you can sustain, heels to floor, knees tracking out over the center of the foot. We're going to stay down there. We're going to raise up to a first. And we're going to draw that back down. Same on the other side. I said a first, I mean a fifth. And down we come. Lengthen the legs. We'll take it again. Down for 2. Press the feet down, lengthen through the top of the head. Finding that wrapping sensation right from the top of the leg. 4 in 1 count. As we go, we think about that breath. Wide into the side and back of the lungs. 8 little pulses. Exhaling through that slightly pursed lip. Helps to find that TVA wrapping as well, just supporting the spine from inside. Let's take it up, let's take it out. Let's take it up again. Same on the other side. So up to 5th, out to 2nd. And up, down, take it to 2nd position. Down for 2, press the floor away. And as we're dropping down, we're thinking sit bones separating, sit bones coming back towards each other. Just a little mental image to help with that idea of drawing upwards. And the music is going to go over to the next track, and we're going to be doing our little pulses as we go. Toes dropping down into the floor on 4, on 3, and 2, and 1. Take a little lengthen. We'll just wait for the phrase of the music. Before we do our hold down, here we go. It's 1 and 2. Let's take a whole circle through the arm. Same on the other side. We'll do 2nd position one more time. We're down for 2. And we're up for 2. Nice and smooth and slow, controlled. Allowing us time to think about our posture through the top of the body. Wide through the collarbones. Lifted through the top of the head. We've got our 8 little pulses coming up. Here we go. They don't have to be too low. Think of that downward slope from the pelvis down towards the knee. Dropping the toes, dropping the heels into the floor. Stay down. Let's take 2 arms. One nice big circle round. We're going to replace the hands. We're going to stretch the legs. We're going to toe heel the feet back in. We're going to take it into now an exercise going the other way. We're going to take it into some rises. We're going to do 3 rises on the spot where we go up in 1 count. We're going to lower down for 3 counts. So we're on that eccentric. Coming back down in 3 times. And then a little plie to change position. So we will start in a parallel, completely feet together. If that's not comfortable, sit one distance apart, absolutely fine as well. Moving that into a first position. Moving that into a parallel first, similar to where we were, just to the outside of the hip. Moving that back into a first, moving that back to parallel, moving it to 1 foot, and then changing feet. We might do that 1 foot twice over. Let's see how we go. So taking that into parallel position through the feet. Either completely together, sit bone distance, hands resting onto the bar. Growing tall through the spine, growing tall through the legs, draw up the thighs. Here we go on 7, 8, up, lower down 3. Really do allow the heels to press back to the floor. Bend the knees to change position. We've got an up. And we're only going as high as we can stabilize through the ankle. We've got bend the knees and change the feet. It's up. Slowly lower down. We start to feel the calves. Then shift it back to first down and up. We start to feel the glutes wrapping the inside thighs, trying to close together. Then shift it back to parallel up. Slowly, slowly down. Wide through the chest. Just take one foot away. So we're going to go for up, slowly down. Really do use the bar. Find that downward pressure through the hands. This bar is a little low for me, really. Ideally something that's around waist height or hip height at least. So you've got that pressure downwards to assist you. We'll go one more time on either foot there. Up, slowly, slowly down. Think about lifting straight down the center of the foot. It's down to change, it's up to change, it's last one, smooth down. We're going to take the feet back into a parallel. We're going to take a little bend with the knees. We'll lift two heels on bent knees. We'll press the feet into the floor as we lengthen the legs, and we'll lower the heels down. So a couple of those little train exercises where we're heels up, we're head up, and then we're heels down. If it's comfortable, see if you can take it a little faster. Through the heels, through the legs, lower down. Always nice and controlled on that. We're lowering, trying not to bump back to earth. Really smooth. Lengthen away. We're going to take some in the other direction. So once we've completed this one, we're going to rise back up again, rise up, bend their knees, drop their heels. If you wanted to, you could always take that slower again. Bending through the knees, controlling that parallel alignment, drop the heels down, lengthen back up. If it's comfortable, a little faster. And heels, trying to keep the head stacked over the chest, over the pelvis, so it doesn't become a squat, this one. Always a plie. Let's go for two more in this direction, or one more if you're going for the slow version. Last time, raising up, dropping down, heels down and away. Good stuff. Have a little shake out. Maybe take one foot back into a little calf stretch. Nice and gentle, two parallel feet, two heels down into the floor. Think of that diagonal line from that back heel up and out through the top of the head. We're going to change it over. Heel pressing away. We're going to be taking that into an exercise for our arms and our body next of all. We're just going to use a little bit of the breaststroke exercise from Pilates and a bit of roll around through the body, some side bend, some forward bend. We're going to take that from a second position. So stepping the feet apart to a comfy distance. It's a plie kind of second, not a lunging kind of second, so it might be smaller than, for example, when we do our mermaid exercise. And so I'm thinking heels really just a little bit outside of hip bones. And I'm thinking about, again, tracking that same parallel down the leg. So the leg is in turn out, but you want the whole leg to be in the same parallel turned out alignment for itself. So the knee is parallel to the foot, to the rotation in the hip socket. Right, so we're going to start off with a little bit of breaststroke. We're going to reach two arms for the sky. We're going to press the floor away and lift the chest. We're going to plie through the legs and curve the spine, and we're going to press the feet into the floor. Let's do it again. Exhale to reach. Inhale. Exhale to curve. Inhale to restack. So the breathing really following us in our movement. Think expansive. Take space with the arms. Drop the sit bones as you curve the spine. Press the feet away. We'll go one more like that. Hands reaching for the ceiling. Tops of the ears lifting with the sternum. Rounded spine. Pressing down. We're going to shoehorn in a little roll of the body. So we're going to reach away again. We're going to inhale to press. We're going to exhale to come down. We're going to take a side bend. So we're going to stay in our plie. We're going to curve that forward. Switch arms. Come over to the other side. Unroll through the body and lengthen up through the legs. We do the same thing again. We're going to roll the body the other way. Breathing in. Exhale, curve it over. We'll take it into a side bend. Curve around to the front. Curve around to the side. Undo the arm and undo the torso. Lengthen away. Two more to go. So you've got reach away. Glutes wrapping. spine curving into that side bend. So chest trying to face forward and around to the side, up and over. Try and stay in that plie. Lengthen up. I'm hoping the next bit of movement, the next bit of work. Reaching again. Breathing in. Curve it over. Unroll. We're going back one more time the other way. Up and over with the arm. Around. So keep the pelvis nice and still. It's the upper body curving into that side bend. Undo the arm. Slowly lengthen away through the legs. Heel toe the feet back in. Step back a little bit if you've got space. I'll have to move that bar slightly. Stepping back into a little cat stretch. So hands just resting on the bar. I'm going to tuck the tailbone under, round the back. It's a softness through the arms. And then I'm going to extend the spine forward. Sit bones pulling back, top of the head pulling forwards. Take that back again. So rounded, middle back raising up towards the sky. Keep the knees spongy. Think about this coming from the center of the body and radiating out to either end of the spine. One more time. Toes pressing down. Try and match in the breathing. Inhale on the extension. Bend the knees softly. Take the hands down to the floor. Come down into a little quadruped position. We'll take a spinal rotation here. So we're going to take one arm out to the side. It's going to feed underneath. I'm keeping the supporting arm fairly straight and I'm rotating away. Exhaling as we feed under. Inhaling as we rotate. One more time. Inhaling to reach away and then come back to this place. I'm actually going to show you on this arm. So we've got a straight arm underneath and I'm going to retract my shoulder blade and then pressing away. So what you will see is that the chest lowers in space and then raises. Couple more of those. Retraction and protraction. This side arm just coming with you. That's our last one of those. We're going to change sides. So we're going to the other arm now. It's going to exhale, feed underneath. Inhale, rotate away. Two more to go. Trying to leave the sit bones and the pelvis nice and still. Think of this rotation spiraling out of the pelvis, up towards the top of the head, coming back to a parallel alignment. So both shoulders looking to the floor, and we squeeze the shoulder blade in on the supporting side, and then away again. And we're trying to stay forward. I was a little bit back there. We're trying to stay forward over that hand. One more to go. Coming down. If it's comfortable to sit back into the heels, maybe take a little shell stretch moment here. You could always do this as well, just sitting on your bum, feet in front of you, and rounding the spine over the thighs. Come to a comfortable seated position for a moment. Let's squeeze the shoulder blades up. Let's squeeze the shoulder blades down. 3 more. Staying long in the spine as we go. Staying long through the back of the neck. And using the breath to aid you, we're going to be picking up our band next of all. Now we're going to be moving into a little bit of a band exercise. So a little bit of focus for our arms, our triceps, a little bit of biceps. So we're going to be coming into a lunge position with our hands. So I'm going to be taking my right foot into the band. Actually, no, it's a lie. I'm going to be taking my left foot into the band and I'm going to be taking my right leg back. So I've got a little lunge, a little sort of, not really a calf stretch. You don't want it to be too big. So it's just a little supportive lunge underneath you. We only really need one side of the band. That side can just hang out here. And we're going to be taking a little bit of tension. There might not be any tension when the arm is aiming down to the floor, but as we pull the band back, then we feel the tension through the arm. So we've got a little pull back and release away. A little pull and release. So we feel it into the triceps of the working arm. Try and stay lengthened through the spine. Back heel pressing down. Let's go for 2 more. One long swoop. And it depends on the tension of your band. You might be able to get a lot further than I'm going. And let's take some little pulses. And we're going to go for 8 of them. So we've got 4 more to go. Breathing through as you go. We're going to release that. We're going to take the 2 ends of the band, step 2 feet in, We've got tension on both sides. We're going to take a little squat, a little mini squat if you like. Stay long through the spine. We're going to pull both sides up towards the chest and release away. So there'll be tension here and possibly no tension here. So don't feel there always has to be tension on the band. It depends how stretchy your band is. If you've got quite a high intensity band, you might need some slack in order to be able to move it anywhere. We're going to go one more and then we're going to change sides. So for argument's sake, I'm just going to change to over here so we can see better. And again, this hand can just be resting onto the thigh. This one's going to do the work of lengthening back. We go 8 times with a long lever and forwards. So we're securing that band in place with the foot. And we're thinking about that stable shoulder on the working arm. So don't let the band pull the shoulder down too much. Think of it resting in that happy middle ground. Neither elevated nor depressed. Just somewhere in the middle. 8 little pulses. Here we go. It's an 8 and a 7. So we're thinking of that long line from the heel all the way to the top of the head. 2 more. And then we have our set of little rowing actions. Upright row. Coming back into our band. 2 feet. Little bend of the knees. Thinking of the sort of mini squat. Mini squat. You're sort of halfway there. We're gonna again pull 2 sides of the band up and away. So I'm thinking elbows tracking backwards, parallel arms, trying to leave my spine long, trying to engage my pelvic floor, little lift between the sit bones, matching in with the breath, and inhale as we reach away, if that's comfortable to do so. Let's just have 4 to finish. 4. It's last 3. Final 2, staying long in the spine. Try not to let the shoulders pinch up. Bend the knees, reaching up, keeping a little bit of tension here on the band. We're going to again do just a couple of shoulder raises and allow the band to pull the arms down. Shoulders squeezing up and the band pulls you down. One last time. This time as the band pulls you down, we're going to take it into a plie. We're going to release the band, release the arms, take them up towards the sky. Maybe have a little stretch out here. Maybe a little wiggle around. Maybe coming down into the floor. A little bit of a core exercise, still using the band. So, gently does it coming down. Finding yourself a comfortable seated area. We're going to be taking an exercise that involves a bit of rolling through the spine. So if you wanted a mat, feel free to grab yourself a mat and lay that out. I've put the band around the balls of the feet, and my feet are either sit right distance apart or completely together. So see what is comfortable for you. You don't really need to see the feet so much. They're just going to hang out in that flexed position. And we're going to lay down into the floor, holding the tension on the band. And we'll start with a little curl through the top of the spine. We're going to nod the chin. We're going to curl up just like an ab curl, a little ab crack. And then we're going to take some bicep curls on the band. So you're pressing with the feet and pulling with the hands. So we get that two-way tension. Maybe 3 or 4, and then release the head and shoulders down again. So we give the neck a little break in between. Exhale, flex up, we're looking towards the toes. We've got wide collarbones. Make sure the shoulders haven't pinched forwards. Little bicep curl in. Maybe 3 or 4. And then rolling back down again. You could keep that going, or you could take it into a roll through the spine. So we can use that bicep curl to help you round the back and roll up and over the legs. Try and stay curved. If you've got enough band tension, try and take a little tricep uncurl. So we're staying rounded in the back, pulling the band back away. And it's that same action again. Elbows staying parallel, coming back through, rolling back down again. Use the bicep curl to help you roll. So you might be doing that first version where we are curling halfway, focusing on the bicep curl, or you might be going all the way and focusing on the tricep curl. Both are equally valuable versions of the exercise. Choose the one that is right for you. Try and stay rounded in the spine. So your pelvis is upright, but your back is curved up and over like a willow tree. Rolling down. Now if you don't like this, or you've got no band, or it's just not working for you, you can get rid of the band entirely. If you've got space, you've got 2 arms reaching overhead. I'm going to pop mine in my head. And we're going to roll through the spine without using any band at all. See if you can roll through. You can always reach the arms away. If it gets a little stuck, roll it down again. Again, you can reach the arms away to assist you on that roll. If that's a little too easy, try and keep the hands on the forehead. See if you can power through, keeping the hands in contact. Try and avoid that hoof moment. Try and think about a smooth curve in both directions. Coming into your last one, whatever you're doing, avoiding your furniture, rounding up and over. And then if you are seated, stay seated. If you are supine, roll yourself over into a prone position and pressing up once again into our quadruped. So we've got the feet untucked to the back. We're going to take a little shift through the spine. So first of all, we're finding our neutral spine. We're thinking TVA wrapping underneath, so the belly button draws slightly back towards the spine. Sit bones looking back, top of the head looking forward. We're just going to take a little shifting motion, a little shifting forwards and back. So I'm thinking about top of the head pulling forwards, sit bones pulling back, and that flexion is coming into the shoulder socket and into the hip socket. So it's nice and simple, just a little shift, maybe feeling a bit of a stretch into the wrist. And then we're going to find a middle ground, shoulders stacked over hands, hips stacked over knees. We're going to reach opposite arm and leg away across the floor, longest line possible, draw them back in, switch to the other side. So you've got reaching away and smoothly back in. Let's go once more on either side. Just a reach, trying not to shift through the pelvis, through the shoulders. Same thing again. And now if we wanted to, we could take that all the way off the floor and smoothly down. Just making sure that there's still no movement really through the spinal pelvis. Tiny micro balancing movements are okay, but we're not looking for any extension, particularly in the lower back. Let's go one more on either side again. Find a long line from fingertips to toes. Coming back in, maybe have a little sit back for a second, maybe shake off through the shoulders, maybe through the head. Nice smooth little look side to side. We're going to come back into that quadruped once again. And this time we are going to tuck the toes at the back. We'll take a little breath in. We'll take an exhale. Press the hands and the feet down. Hover the knees away from the floor. Take one breath to stay and exhale, return the knees. Once again, breathing in. Exhale, breathing out, hover the knees. Inhale to stay. And that might be enough for you, or you might be taking it again into that little shifting action. So once we are hovering, we could again take that little shift forwards and back. So shifting forwards over the hands, sit bones pulling back. Let's go for two more. Otherwise it's just that lift and lower. That's a great exercise as well. Last one of whatever you are doing. Coming back to the center, allow the knees to drop. Come around to a comfortable seated position. Let's take one arm out to the side. Let's lever it across. Give it a little bit of extra love. Take a couple of breaths there. You can always take a little gentle look side to side as you go, really small, just easing out through the neck. And release the arm. Take the same thing on the other side. So hinge across as far as it goes on its own, a little further. Staying seated but stacked up tall through the spine. And release the arms, take a little tricep stretch. So hinging at the elbow, place the hand in underneath the thumb on the inside, and lifting the elbow to the ceiling, long on two sides of the body. Try not to drop the head forward, think about the top of the head lifting for the sky, and release the arm. Take the same thing on the other side, hinging in, elbow up, and the other hand just supporting, helping this stretching elbow to stay stacked over the armpit. Release it down. Come back around one more time to your quadruped. Tuck the toes. Press the heels back as the sit bones. You might be coming to something with bent legs. You might be coming to something with lengthened legs. You might just be feeling whatever is good for you, somewhere really in between. Step the feet in underneath you. Take the weight into the feet and out the hands. As you unroll, to a nice long neutral spine. And we are done there. Thank you very much.